Yes, at this time, to any pro wrestler out of Kentucky. He has wrestled for New Orleans Wrestling, Primetime Wrestling, Wildcat Championship Wrestling, all over Kentucky actually. Goes by the name of Loverboy Brock Landers. He's joining me right now. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's good, Kenny? Thanks for having me on.
Great to have you, man. And the first time I saw you wrestle, I think it was at Primetime Wrestling. It was at
Uh-oh.
Lawrenceburg, Kentucky last year, and that's how I knew who you were. And you're definitely one of the household names in the state of Kentucky. And I'm definitely a fan of yours, man. And you're very talented, very entertaining, and you definitely got those very cool "Life is a Work" T-shirts, including the
That's right.
one with the Kentucky logo on it.
Yup.
I definitely got to get one of those. Uh, Next time I see you, I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'll
Um,
hook you up with one.
cool. So Brock, how did you get started becoming a wrestler? How did it all start off for you?
It all started for me about 17 years ago. Two guys that I grew up with, Sexy Stan Sierra and the Voodoo Child Stevie Phillips, were wrestling for an organization called Hardcore Championship Wrestling. And they needed a referee one night, and I just happened to have my old Foot Locker referee shirt and showed up at the Armory and got to referee. And first match I got to referee was Dirty Dutch Mantel versus Killer Kyle from the old Smoky Mountain days.
I definitely remember Stan Sierra. I still see him wrestle from time to time. And I haven't seen Steve Phillips since the UWF days. He's very good as well.
Yeah.
And man, 17 years and you're still doing this. Just and this is what I love to ask for a guy that like you that's been around for a long time. What do you think is the key to your longevity into this business?
Well, the key for me was taking about 10 years off. But for the young guys, I can just tell them to be smart, to work smarter, not necessarily harder. I try to tell them that, we all have what I call a bump card. It's like, if you've got money in the bank, every time you take a bump, you're making a withdrawal. And if you take these crazy bumps, or if you're getting suplexed on a concrete floor, then that takes a little bit more money out of the bank than bumping right in the middle of the ring. And eventually, it dries up. You've only got so many, so make them count. That's my advice for the guys.
Good insight. And I'm not a wrestler per se. I'm a fan. I'm happy to be a fan. I don't want no involvement as a wrestler by any means, even though people be telling me, well, you're 6'5" and you about 220 pounds. I mean, you can do this stuff. I'm like, no, it's not that simple. It's not for everybody. It takes a toll for a lot of people. If you
Hmm.
can't even do the simple things like a bump, don't bother. leave it to
Yeah,
the trained professionals like Brock
yeah,
Landers.
yeah. But now I'm a firm believer that everybody out there, no matter their size, athletic background, whatever, there is a job for you in professional wrestling. Male, female, big, small, it doesn't matter. You know, uh, what people seldom remember, or they definitely remember it when it gets screwed up. Referees, ring announcers, security guards, the guy playing the music, the ticket taker. If you have one person that screws up that job, it could ruin a show. It could ruin a match. So, I mean, if somebody wants to get involved in the wrestling business, there's plenty other ways you can contribute without being an actual wrestler. So,
And also, being very dedicated to the job that is presented to you. And
mm,
and one one thing I get from wrestlers all the time, be there on time.
Hmm.
Be a professional.
Now, that's what I've always told the guys. Early is on time is late, and late is unacceptable.
Well said, well said. So I want to talk about these Life's a Work T-shirts. Um, who came up with the idea for that? Was it you? Was it a wrestling company that you worked for? Like, how did those shirts came about?
The actual phrase started about 17 years ago. We would, me and Sexy Stan and the Voodoo Child and whoever, an old referee by the name of Reed Rothschild, we would always make these trips in the car, and people, they would talk about the Super Bowl or the election or this or that, and the saying was that we came up with was, "Life is a work, and God is the booker." And it's just something we always said. Anytime that, hey, who's going to win the game? It doesn't matter. It's a work. Or oh, so and so got a promotion at his job. Yeah, he worked them into getting it. So we just kind of always said that, and then fast forward to last year, I came back and I noticed not a lot of indie guys were selling merch. And back in the day, the gimmick table. That's how people made their money. You would make more money on selling gimmicks than you would to come wrestle. So I just saw an opportunity. Just wanted something simple. Something everybody had skulls and barbed wire and tribal and all this crazy stuff, and I was like, let's just get a black T-shirt and put some big white letters on it. And then also, I wanted, not everybody wants to have a Loverboy Brock Landers shirt. Not everybody may want a Sexy Stan Sierra shirt or a Larry D shirt, but, we're all wrestling fans. The biggest fans are in the locker room. I'll tell you that right now. So when I came out with that shirt, I knew that the wrestlers would buy it, the fans would buy it, and not only that, but a lot of people would buy it because, if you're a hardcore wrestling fan, you know what it means. 99% of the population they don't know what that phrase means. So, it kind of gives us this sense like we're in a club, like we know the secret, we know what it means, nobody else does. And when someone sees it, if you're wearing the shirt and someone sees it, they immediately know, holy, like you're a wrestling fan, they're a wrestling fan too, so like they feel like they're included in on it too. So that was my main goal, was just something that everybody could like.
It's definitely catched on within your co-workers and fans. Seems like every other show I go to, there's a Life is a Work T-shirt. It's just,
Oh yeah.
it's just, and that's a great quote, just in case if those who wants to feel to say things about professional wrestling. When there's so much going on in this world and people being bamboozled. People don't
Hmm.
don't don't know what's going on, what really going on, unless you pay close attention. You know, th-
Stay woke. Stay woke.
and so that's a great quote, and something to live for, to keep in mind, for that matter. So this past Monday on Raw, Seth Rollins did a promo, and some fan got out of the stands, went straight into the ring, looked like he or she was gonna do something. Now, if you watched it at home, you didn't get to see who the fan was. WWE
Hmm.
they didn't want you to give the fan any recognition whatsoever. He basically got caught by security, got out of the ring, and he got arrested and went straight to jail.
Hmm.
Uh, Now, in your entire career, have you ever witnessed that at an indie show, whether you're
Yes.
wrestling or whether you watch it at home or watch it from the
Yes.
audience?
Yes, I sure have. About 10 or 15 years ago in Monticello, at the National Guard Armory there. I was myself and Stan Sierra was the main event, and Stan went out first, big, ugly, intimidating bad guy, and got him riled up. And he does this little thing. I don't know if he does it anymore though. He kind of sits on the middle rope there and invites them in. If they're sitting there jawing, he's like, "Well, if you think you're so tough, come on in the ring." No one. I mean, who's gonna take a 6'5", 265-pound grown man up on that? Not too many people. But that particular night, a young man did actually get across the security barrier, went towards the ring. Security didn't get there in time. And Stan was backing up the whole time because, we don't want a confrontation. We don't, we're here to entertain. We want to put on a show and go home the same way we came to the building. So Stan was backing away, and sure enough, the guy came into the ring, and from what I saw on the monitor, it did not go the Stan's way, and he got scraped up, and the police came, and it was a pretty tense situation. We actually ended up there was a Wayne County Sheriff's deputy and a Monticello City Police actually had to escort us to the county line to get us out of Wayne County that night. So that'd be a good one for you to ask old Sexy Stan whenever you see him, because I hope it never happens. It does happen, and those guys in the WWE and these bigger organizations, especially the WWE, that's a publicly traded company. So it's not like it was 20, 30 years ago. If you ran it on the ring against, Terry Funk or Kevin Sullivan or some of those old school guys, that the fan on Monday got off easy. I think I saw that Seth maybe kind of pushed him or stiff-armed him away, but a long time ago, it would go bad for the fan that wanted to get involved.
To Seth Rollins' credit, he did a good job, just laughed it off, stay in character the whole time, and went on from there. And I said this before you got on. To all the wrestling fans out there, I get it. You all want to be involved. You want to feel like you get involved. And, we cheer, we boo, we yell, we scream. We react, obviously. And I get it. But you don't want to find yourself like that fan was, or that fan was with Stan Sierra. You don't want to make a fool of yourself. Look, wrestling fans get a lot of flack as it is. But when those type of guys think they can just be a part of the show, when they're not even trained to go up against a professional, you're asking for trouble. So to those fans out there, please leave the wrestling to the wrestlers. Leave it to those who's been professionally trained to do these maneuvers so they can perform and entertain for us fans.
Exactly.
And it's happened a little too much within the WWE over the last year. It happened at Roman Reigns doing a house show. Someone threw a Money in the Bank briefcase at him during a match against Bray Wyatt. Someone grabbed Dean Ambrose during the show. And even years back, CM Punk got at it with a fan. And just fortunately for him, WWE didn't get sued by the fan or whatever, but it definitely could have been worse.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the reasons. One of the rules and regulations here in Kentucky. The wrestlers cannot go out to where the fans are. The security railing and rope is there for a reason, and that may have been one of the reasons the big WWE shows haven't been in Kentucky, because they do a lot of that, where the Shield was coming through the crowd
Yeah.
and things like that. That's a no-no in Kentucky right now.
Mm. So obviously, there hasn't been a show at Wapawina at all, and it looks like it ain't gonna be the case anytime soon. But I did went to an NXT show at Louisville a few weeks back. Had a good time. Now for you, Brock, do you have any upcoming shows that you want to promote that people need to know?
We're going to be at the Heroes and Legends. They have a big one-day convention and show up in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I think Damian Sandow is going to be there. Carlito, Vicky Guerrero, The Godfather. Just a lot of legends and a lot of good indie talent will be there. I'll be there along with the guys from Independent Talent Podcast. So anybody in Indiana or that wants to make the trip, I think Jason Maples is the promoter, and he's already doing pre-sales, so it'll be a good time for everybody. Be just an entire day of wrestling.
Brock, it was great chatting with you, man. Thank you so much for your time. Continued success, and hopefully I'll see you again at a future show for sure.
Indeed, and I'll make sure you get what do you need, a 1X in that shirt?
Yeah, 2X.
2X.
Yeah, the UK one. Yeah.
All right, Kenny. I'll hook you up. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, man. You have a good night. Have a great weekend.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye.